Hi, this is MrByZ, and today I'm going to take a look at kind of going back almost 20 years here. We're going to go all the way back to the Naboo Royal Starship, the Queen's Starship that was put out with Episode 1 Phantom Menace in 1999. So here it is, the Naboo Royal Starship. Unfortunately, they did not chrome this. I know a lot of us kind of wanted it to be that way with the... We were still getting 3POs chrome like that back in 1999 in our Astromechs. But it was probably too expensive to do this. I know some people who actually went back and did that. It looked awesome. It'd be great to have this all shiny. But this has some great features. So let's go ahead and open it up. Start up here. We have our kind of forward cabin, if you will. You can take out the boarding ramp. So you have that right there. It just stores inside. Kind of a little receiving area. We have the Queen's chair, which she could not sit in because... the figures didn't have leg joints at the time. We do have up front, the nose actually opens up. If I can get this open with one hand. There we go. And we have kind of an escape craft, obviously not actually in the movie, in here. And in my escape craft, I have the exclusive droid that came with this. I'm trying to remember his name. Oops, I fired the missile. This was actually a hard droid to get because he only came with the Starship there for a while. And when you're talking about a figure that came with a $100 toy, they were much sought after. I hung on to all mine, even though I bought a couple more Starships on clearance. Thinking about maybe selling the droid, I hung on to all of them. Now, they did release him later on as a single-release figure. It wasn't the exact same mold, but they did release the character, if you will. So a little escape pod here. It does have a firing missile. You can see the slot for the R2 unit and where you put your figure. Boy, that's probably bigger than what the new Millennium Falcon for Solo is going to have to fit your figures. See those extra details when you lift up the front nose that's in there. It's even like some etching on the inside. You know, a lot of extra stuff with this. Now, the main body of the ship also opens up, so that we can have our Rick Oley playset, which is what everybody always wanted, right? Now, the nice thing is this will actually pull out to give you more room. So you can have your cockpit space up here, so Rick Oley can talk to Anakin about flying a ship and all that. And then we have our hyperdrive. The nice thing about the hyperdrive is you can do it the blasted version from Escaping Naboo, or you can have fixed version here after the pod races. And you notice there's a notch there, and there's a reason. I'll show you a little bit later. Put that back in for right now. A couple other features in this. It has an elevator here for your droids. Now, it also goes all the way down, so it's like kind of a lift for the droids all the way down. But, getting up here, so it's made to look like, you know, when your droids first pop up to help repair everything. It does have these removable panels, which I'll show you how those work in just a minute. So we have our battle damage all over in here. So this is electronic as well. All sorts of lights and sounds. We have to turn it on first. We have... quite a bit there. There's even a couple little spots underneath. I think, yeah, that one's supposed to make that so you pop it up so you can have your R2 unit on there. And come on. Sometimes these old springs don't want to work anymore. There we go. So you can destroy your droids other than R2 on that. Now, these panels, like I said, do pop off. But this did a little differently. There's all the buttons I hit before. Oh, I didn't show the lights inside. And the lights over here. I know, they're just blinking LEDs. Nothing too fancy. I know those ones in the back. There we go. I know, another blinking LED. How exciting. But this does more. This comes with a Droid Starfighter as well. Has a little trigger. Normally you can go over here. You see it just lights up red. But you see this little infrared spot right here. I just press the button on the Droid Starfighter. This might take a couple tries here. Last time I tried it, it didn't blast off immediately. There we go. So that blasts off to the effects like that. Now, I did mention earlier that, I'll just take these and put them out of the way. If you put the hyperdrive in different ways, I had this in the clean and you could hear it gave flying sounds. If I put it in the other way, make sure I get it in there good. So it's damaged like that. I think this is one. Nope, not that one, okay. This is always the fun part, is finding the right things here. Have this pushed in right? There we go, okay. There we go. So you get the broken hyperdrive sound when you have it going the other way. So this is a nice playset and ship. And I said earlier I have 3. I don't have 3 because I was hoarding them. I actually have 3 because I was setting them up that way. I used one in a Tatooine diorama, one in a Naboo diorama, and one hanging from the ceiling surrounded by Naboo starfighters. So, you know, it kind of works well that way. Pretty cool ship. These are only going for about $100 nowadays from what I've seen at shows. I've actually seen them for cheaper than that. There was a time they were really hard to get. So you can still get out and get these for a pretty good price. If you like episode 1 or if you want to create those episode 1 dioramas, it's great. Obviously, you know, you can have just this set up and you have your ramp, so you can have Qui-Gon battling Darth Maul right here. Like I said, you can have Rick Lee talking to Anakin in the cockpit. Excuse me. You can have Obi-Wan down here looking at the hyperdrive. You can have the Queen telling Padme to clean up R2. All these different things you can do with that. Usually in my Tatooine, I have the is it the Eopie with another hyperdrive, so you can have Qui-Gon bringing that on in. All sorts of things like that. So it's a lot of fun in that aspect. Works great with lots of different dioramas. Now, as I was pulling out the Naboo Royal Starship and kind of setting up, well, not totally setting up, just pulling out from boxes, all of my Naboo components for that diorama, I came across, of course, the Famba was released as an FAO Schwartz exclusive. It costs, I want to say it was about $60, $60 or $80. FAO Schwartz was never cheap to get this. However, it's kind of boring. It's great for your dioramas, but the legs don't move at all. It kind of has a rubbery skin, but it's very firm. You've got reins here. You've got the shield generator up top and a spot to put your Gungan in. It does come with a Gungan. He is just not unpacked yet, I should say. Now, there was another piece that came with like the Gungan laser. I can't remember what those things are called. But you could actually pop this off, which I can't really do one-handed. But you can take this off the top, and you can actually put the laser cannon on the top, and you can do that. If you wanted to buy multiple Fambas and do a huge diorama with that. Not something I could afford at the time. I could barely afford just getting the one. But I thought it'd be fun to just include this in here, because it's not a whole lot of interesting. You can see kind of its size next to the Royal Starship to kind of get the idea of how big it is, because it was a big beast, but hit 0 points of articulation, and you know, just kind of a nice piece to put in your dioramas, and that was about it. So that is a look at the Naboo Royal Starship and the Famba. So that's my look at the Queen's Royal Naboo Starship, however you want to put that. I think it's just Royal Naboo Starship in there. But I hope you enjoyed this. It kind of proves that those big vehicles don't just have to be, since the big Millennium Falcon and after. This was $100 when it came out. It says it's 3 feet long, so add another foot and there's your sail barge, right? It's a little bit bigger than that, though. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of nice to go back and look at some of these. I know this was sought after for a little while. I was lucky enough to find these for $25 a piece at Target. I actually have 3 of them for different scenes. But the droid especially was one of the hard things to get in that, which they've then re-released in a different type of figure, but it's still the same character, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you can subscribe to my channel here. I'm putting out lots of reviews. Like I said, going right now through lots of the big vehicles that we've seen over the years from Hasbro. When I get new stuff, I go through and review that, and occasionally there's something a little extra that's not Star Wars in there. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.